Hey everyone, I'm Brady Anderson.
And I'm Sean Mays.
We created NotifyMe. We built NotifyMe with React Native, Node.js, and native base with some styling elements. So the purpose of NotifyMe is to help facilitate communication between all the parties in any school emergency. So kind of our example with poor communication in school emergency. Sean, do you want to tell our story a little bit?
Yeah, so when the shooting at the middle school happened, Brady and I were in math class, and we were on Code Yellow. We wanted to know what happened. Then one kid finally stood up and said there was a shooter at West. Then, as things progressed, there were threats of shooters in the high school. There were bomb threats in the high school. They all turned out to be false. But we wanted to, with Notify Me, we think that we can eliminate all the false threats so everyone knows what's actually going on.
Yeah, and the crazy thing was, once we talked to school admin, they told us after 5 minutes of the threat being announced, there was no danger, and after 45 minutes, they could confirm that there was no danger at the high school or anywhere else. Just no one knew what was going on. And, we learned as we developed through our development process, as we talked to students, teachers, parents, police, and school administrations, that this was a huge problem. There wasn't really anything that students and parents took seriously that the school could use to, communicate accurate information. And, we also wanted to make sure this was available on Android and iOS devices, so we used code that would be available on both those devices. And so kind of going through the features, first we have the message feature, which is where schools can post information of what's happening at the school with school emergencies. And every time they post a message, it'll send a notification to you, and it'll just tell you what's going on. So an example is a school shooting threat. Maybe there's an inclement weather causing power outages. Maybe there's a bomb threat, or maybe even there's like cyber attacks as we go into more tech-based society. And so next we have the emergency form feature. Sean, would you like to talk about that?
Yes, so the emergency form feature, you would use this if you're pinned, you can't get out, or if you leave from your current location, you're putting yourself in danger. You fill out your location, the threat, if anyone's hurt, and give any other details necessary and send it in, and authorities will be contacted.
Yep, and then when you're done, you press submit, and it'll give you a comforting message to let you know that help is coming. And then finally, we have our login and subscription feature. And the login and subscription feature, so to log in, you can kind of subscribe to other schools, see what's going on. What I mean by subscribe to other schools is these are the schools that you will get notifications from and messages from and see what's going on. So for parents who have kids in college, or for family members like grandma and grandpas that are in a different state, they want to see their kids, see if they're safe and what's going on in their school. But automatically, if you get the app, then the app will give you notifications from the nearest school district. And finally, Sean and I really just wanted to thank our school administrators and the 50-plus students, the 30-plus parents, and the police department and the FBI for all the feedback and guidance that they gave us in this process, as well as Susan Brooks and the Congressional App Challenge team. You guys put on an amazing event, and it was a great opportunity.